You don't have to if you don't want to.
I heard you come in. Hey, guys, how are you?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. Are you set to go?
I am. Yeah.
Good.
This
Okay.
is my dad.
I'm Murray. Hi. Doug, it's good to meet you. I'm Joe Hurst. I'm the superintendent here, so. Okay. Pleasure. You've been working with her. She's great. Okay, so I've got you set up. You're gonna be here first on the agenda. And I have a clicker for you. I'm gonna flip through those units itself. It's just forward and back. There's no change. Yours is the slide to, what is it, 8 slides? I think you got there. I'll get you to the first slide if you take it from there.
I promise it won't be long, but I was like.
I looked at this and I thought this is really good information, so if you take a little longer. I don't know. There is a pointer if you want it. It's this little red line right here. So now it doesn't show up well, but it's there.
Where do you?
There.
Right there.
Otherwise, no, and it's up to you. Honestly, who you're talking to is gonna be right here. So if you wanna talk here in the middle, if you wanna be up at the board, wherever you're comfortable. Okay? I'm glad you're doing this. So now I will, at 6:30, I have to be in that room, Cody's office, to start the stream and all that sort of thing, which is something I have done once in my entire life. He set everything up. Tonight, he's going on vacation. I set it up, so we'll see if this works, fingers crossed. But I may not be here exactly where you get in, but we do the Pledge of Allegiance. We adopt the agenda, and then we go into reports. So it'll be first up, but there's a few school things. Okay, and then we'll get you out of here.
All right.
All right, okay. Scott?
Yeah.
I'm going back down there.
All right.
So,
I'm
do
here.
you need anything else?
No, don't play.
And I don't know what
That's just it. I think you don't-
that can go. What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Seeing something else.
I wonder why this camera. Oh, nope, it's this camera. Never mind, we're good. Okay, we should be all right.
You get your ticket license done too.
What's that?
You can get your ticket license now.
What?
You can get your ticket license.
Yeah, that's it. Howdy, howdy. Well, Dr. Swab. How are you?
Good.
Good evening.
Right.
We don't have tech guy tonight, so this is flying by the seat of Jerry's pants. He gave me a whole list of instructions. Right now it's working. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed. It's good.
You won't tell them it took you an hour to get it fixed.
You don't need to tell people that. And I will have to go down there at the very beginning and turn everything on. So it's rare, but I have to push play.
Bring your heater back when you come
No way. Feels great in here.
all the time.
just worried this room hasn't been used in a while. I'm worried about you. Okay, for now.
I don't remember that much equipment out in the hallway before. It looked like a,
Funny thing is, most of that's Ruth's room.
oh, I can believe that.
Literally down to,
Down to the door right there, probably.
Hmm?
Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff.
this one cart, all the way down is Ruth's, and they still don't have everything moved out. They're clearing a spot in the very back corner so they can push more stuff back in there and then finish off the floors.
She said at one time her husband was gonna help rework her desk.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, and I did get that requisition that you asked about. I pushed it through.
The FFA one?
Hmm?
The FFA one?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool, thank you. Thank you. So I need to go in and approve that, right?
Yeah, to keep it moving.
I will. In fact, I'll do that on my phone while we're down here. Dr. Swab, I will start everything right at 6:30. That means I'll be just a couple minutes, seconds late being in here. So I'll start without me, I guess is what I'm saying. You're on the phone, aren't you? Wait, I can wait till you get here. Hi, Maria.
We will just be very quiet for a few moments.
Yeah, you're fine.
They must be cleaning the roof again. That sound, they're power washing the roofs, they're getting ready to paint them.
That sound there is a handler.
Hmm?
That sound there is a handler.
Well, I think about 3 weeks from now, at the next board meeting, things are gonna look a lot different, because we've got solar panels, they're supposed to be putting on the new rubber membrane, and the roofs will be repainted, and hopefully the greenhouse will be well completed. So that's our hope. They said it'd be about 3 weeks on the roof paving, and they started on Monday. So. Okay.
board meetings at once, not overlap, they got overlapped.
Oh,
Spectators, that's okay. Part of that is over.
I'll second.
Roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Next item is approving the May 13th minutes. It was on our packet for review. We have a motion to approve. Thanks, Scott. And a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Holly. Roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
So next is our administrative reports. Kelly Thomas, the literacy coach, is going to give us a presentation. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. So I am Kelly Thomas, and I am a Read Ohio literacy coach. So I have just a little brief presentation about what Read Ohio is, because some people aren't familiar with the program. And then I want to talk a little bit about what I did in your building this year. So Read Ohio is a statewide initiative that Governor DeWine put in place in 2023 to improve literacy achievement in all Ohioans for early childhood through adulthood. The program focuses on the science of reading and bringing literacy coaches into schools for support. So there are 5 different regions that they broke Read Ohio coaches into. So Bradford is in the West region, of course, with the Darke County, and then there's Central, South, East, and North. So across the state, I think there's 66 coaches altogether, and he just approved 50 more for next year to come on board in the program. So it's growing because it's being so successful. So here are some things that I do as a literacy coach. I analyze student data, and then I also go into classrooms and I model best practices. I coach the teachers, I collaborate with administrators, and then I guide the implementation of high quality literacy curriculum and resources. And then I also make sure that everybody's up to date with the current literacy learning initiative. And then I foster a positive and inclusive school culture that values reading and writing for all students. So you may wonder why I am here at Bradford. So it was a process. So first I had to be hired by the state of Ohio. After I was hired, then they look at the area I live in. So I am from Piqua. And then they choose a school within 45 miles of my house. And they look at who has the lowest literacy scores. They asked Bradford if they wanted a literacy coach, and you guys said yes. And so the next step, my coordinator, whose name is Nick, myself, Bob, and the title reading team all had a meeting. And in that meeting, it was decided that I was going to work with kindergarten mostly, although I did some other things throughout the year too. And then that finally brought me to Bradford, and my first day was September 4th, 2025. So one of the things the state likes to do is for us to create an impact report so you guys know exactly what I worked on. So we had to come up with a SMART goal. So the kindergarten classrooms and the title teachers and Bob and I came up with the SMART goal that 80% of kindergartners will demonstrate mastery of letter sounds by scoring 20 or above, and the nonsense word fluency letter sounds assessment of the Acadians. We progress monitored weekly for some and made sure that the kids that were below benchmark were making progress. And then we adjusted small group instruction to cater to the needs of the students. So at the beginning of the year, we had 23 students on track, right, in September. And that was 51% that were off track. And then at the middle of the year, we had 64% on track and 36 off track. And so we increased the score by 15%. And then at the end of the year, we had 76% on track and 24% off track. So we missed the 80% just by a little bit. But when one of the kindergarten teachers went on maternity leave, it kind of threw us all off, and they didn't make as much growth as they should have at the end of the year. So I think if she wouldn't have gone on maternity leave, we would have seen that 80%. Another thing that I have to do is walk through data. And so I looked at all 3 kindergarten classrooms, including the BG classroom. And, whoops, wrong button, sorry. So 65% were using the explicit systematic instruction at the beginning of the year. So here are the categories I'm checking for that the state wants to make sure that the teachers are doing. So they need to review previous learning, knowledge, and skills. They identify objective and specific elements to be learned. They activate and build background knowledge. They limit amount of new information to be taught. They model and demonstrate think alouds effectively, provide examples and if appropriate, non-examples. They maximize student engagement, paces instruction appropriately, checks for understanding, provides corrective feedback, and reteaches when necessary. So I would go into the classroom and just use a little checklist, and then I would meet with the teachers. We would talk about it, and then I would go in and model some ways that they could improve that score. So at the end in the spring, then they got a score of 91%. So they were really taking to heart what I was trying to get them to do to improve their literacy scores. So I had 328 coaching sessions, and those are when I was either working with a group of teachers, one-on-one, working with administrators. And so this was the type of support. I could work one-on-one, universal, which is the whole school, self-guided, which is when they just came to me and needed a question, and then small groups. So I did one-on-one coaching sessions the most when people had questions or wanted me to model lessons. And then these are all the topics that I addressed. This one right here, for some reason, was not marked. That the state sent that to me. So that's communication. So the most was focusing on the evidence-based and quality materials. When I first came, there was a lot of confusion because they were doing OG, and OG is not approved anymore. It has to be OG plus. So that was a big part of trying to figure out how to make that better so you guys would be compliant with the state. And then I could be a learner. So when I was like in a PD with the teachers, that included that as a learner. I was a leader where I was actually teaching or leading the instruction, and then a collaborator when I was in a meeting with the teachers. So those are the topics that were addressed. So the other insights I wanted to say was last year's data without a Read Ohio coach in the school showed that 62% of kindergartners were on grade level for correct letter sounds. This year, that percentage increased to 76%. In addition, last year, only 26% of students could read at least one whole nonsense word. This year, 55% of students could read a whole nonsense word. And that is not a tested skill in kindergarten, but it is tested right away in first grade. So the more we can get the kindergartners to read a whole word, the better off they'll be in first grade. So that's why we were working really hard to get them to read fluently the whole word. So next year, when I am here, we are going to be implementing the UFly phonics program. And I will be modeling lessons for them, holding weekly data meetings with the teachers, and conducting fidelity checks. UFly has one built into the program. And Bob and I did it at the end of the school year just to make sure that we knew how to do it, and it was really easy. And then we also need to establish a stronger and more structured MTSS plan. So I'm excited for year 2 for Bradford. Do you guys have any questions for me?
So do you stay with kindergarten year 2, or is it dependent on scores and things like that of where you help?
Well, next year with UFly, I'm going to be pretty much in every grade level. When I say I worked with kindergarten, that's just I have to have data for the state. So they wanted like a focus grade.
Okay.
Bob and I have talked about possibly grade 2 being a focus, since kindergarten is pretty good going into first grade. But we'll wait until next year to see what the scores and everything show before we make our decision.
I have a question about, are you going to, like, tier 1, is that what your main focus is going to be with the upcoming school year, or what is your main focus going to be?
Yes, so tier 1 was the main focus this year too, but I was also helping with tier 2 because there were so many questions about all of those. So I just kind of help all, like, everything. But I do focus most on tier 1.
And the implementation on the U-Fly, when is that gonna start taking place, where their training and everything is gonna be happening?
So the training is scheduled for August 25th.
And the teachers have received the materials?
Some have and some haven't. They are ordered, some, like, because we ordered, I think maybe 10 manuals in the fall so they could look at them. And then we have some more ordered that they'll get.
And the upper grades, 3 through 5, I know that they're just laying that out for U-Fly. What does that look like?
So 3rd grade is going to start out with U-Fly because the 2nd grade is so low. And so I already did pacing guides for all grade levels next year. And so they'll start out with U-Fly. And then U-Fly came out with a morphology program that we have ordered. So when that comes in, then 3rd grade will also start that after they end the U-Fly program.
And what about like junior high school, since they are now having to have REMs if they haven't met their goals?
So they have a couple of programs up there. One was phonics for reading with Anita Archer, and the other one is rewards. Can't remember who that program is.
Mr. Voyager Service is who I think they're.
Yeah, so they're using those.
Okay.
Because they're more, U-Fly is more tailored to the elementary, and then those programs have more tailored towards the older grades.
Will you work with them at all, or?
I have worked with Crystal, is that her name?
Yeah.
So I worked with her some last year when she's needed questions and such, so.
Well, it looks like you've made some good progress on those. Let's hope that it sticks over the summer and that they don't have a lot of slide, but it looks really good.
Yes. And U-Fly, I think, too, because of how it's structured, I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but there's a daily review constantly. And so I think using that will really help it stick in their heads, hopefully. So we'll see in the fall. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you for allowing me to come and talk to you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Sorry, you have
I have
an
nothing.
update?
No.
Short and sweet.
I have a few things to share. We have the solar project going strong right now. In fact, rounding the corner, shall I say. The panels are actually all installed on the roof at this point. The wiring is complete down to the junction box within the school district or in the building itself. There was supposed to be a shutdown on Monday where they did the union between the solar panels and our existing electric. Something got mixed up there and they have rescheduled that, but we don't know when. So that's yet to come. But we're excited, it is close. They did the inspection and everything looks great so far. They have one other inspection coming up as soon as that junction is made. And then we'll be pretty much ready to roll with it. We're talking about a ribbon cutting for the board meeting on the 12th. Instead of a separate standalone meeting, we figured, okay, maybe we could do it early. So 5 o'clock on that day, we'd love to have some press come in, some community members, that sort of thing, and wondered if I'm hoping I can get some of you guys here. So that's the case. We'll go ahead and plan for the 12th at 5 o'clock. If any of you are interested, I can have one person go up on the roof and actually cut the ribbon and all that sort of fun stuff. If nobody's comfortable doing that, we can do it down here in the auditoria, but we've already got a way to figure out, or we've already figured out a way that we can put the projector in the auditoria there and show the folks that are up on the roof and talk back and forth through Google Meets and have that communication live while we're doing it. So hopefully that works out. So, but as you can see tonight, and I'm going to apologize, Cody's not here this week. So the tech stuff, he gave me a long list of instructions on how to set up the YouTube stuff and all this for tonight. I've got it. My friend at home right now is watching and making sure everything's working well. So that's why I ran out and make sure the sound was working. The schedule of events there for the solar project, we're right there at schedule. We were supposed to be done with the permission to operate on Friday the 12th, which is this week. I think that may be pushed back a couple of days, but that's just a guess at this point. I don't think they're going to have that finished completely between now and Friday, but who knows? Greenhouse, unfortunately, is sitting in the same place it was last month. These are the exact same pictures. The contractor's been out here one day. We've got all the materials, we're organizing and that sort of thing. But we're hoping in the next couple of days, he's out here and erecting that entire piece. If you guys have noticed the concession stand across the road, the roof had been in dire need of some help. So we had some spots where you could actually see through the roof. It wasn't just leaking, it was actually visually being able to see through the roof at that point. So Skip and the team went over this last week, tore off all the shingles, inspected the lumber that was underneath there, found a lot of lumber that needed to be replaced, changed all that out, put new shingles on, and if any of you have a chance to go over and check it out, make sure you tell Skip how great it looks, because it really does look amazing, and I think it'll last another 30 years. Speaking of roofs, they're power washing the green metal roofs around the building. They started that yesterday, and will be, as soon as they're done power washing, they're gonna primer it and paint it, and everything will be black roofed, except for, of course, the flat roofs. That will be, the new stuff will be white, the old stuff is black, so it will be changed over. There's a fun run coming up on June 20th, which is Saturday next weekend. We'll have lots of activities going on out here, 5K for the adults, a shorter run for the little ones. It should be fun, but there's information on Facebook and out there on our website for signing up and making sure that you're involved if you're interested in doing that. And then the last piece is the field house. The idea is we will have plans to be adopted at the July board meeting. So the next board meeting, we'll have that. And then we'll have a motion to go out for bids and get that thing rolling. Somebody asked at the last meeting when we would have this completed, and I think I told you probably the wrong date. They are going to break ground as soon as we can, obviously, but the original goal was by winter time we would be moving into the building. I think it's going to be closer to summertime that we're going to be moving into the building. So it's going to be obviously some months out to get this finished up. So that concludes my report, unless you have questions.
The fun run, is
Yes.
that sponsored by like the athletic boosters, a certain sport or what?
It is just put on by our athletic department.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be we'll call it a fundraiser to hopefully earn just a little bit of money to put back in the programs and help out the kids.
I just didn't know if it was like the football team or who.
No.
I looked on Facebook to try to see who was
Yeah,
doing this.
It's not a group, it's actually Chris Hunter and his team putting it together.
I have a question, and this is just because I think I'm new and I don't know that I really paid close attention up until this point, but the land across the road,
Uh-huh.
we own that still, and are we in an agreement with the Pee-wees, or how does that work exactly? As who's in charge of, like, is it used for a concession stand?
It is. BYA basically uses that property with the exception of the pole barn that's over there that we have storage in. Everything else has been turned over pretty much to them to use. My goal would be to draw some kind of agreement to say, here, it's yours, we've got the roof fixed now, everything should be fairly well up to code and speed right now, where it'll last a long time, and basically do an agreement where they will be responsible for everything year round. So that's what we're leading up to. We're not there yet, but this was one of the big hurdles, is getting that roof fixed before we did that.
Thank you.
So the same with our ball diamonds here in the summer rec uses them. Do we empty the trash or do the summer rec?
They do.
They're in charge of all
They
that.
do that, yep. Now, occasionally Skip will have to go out and clean up some things, but no, they're pretty good about emptying their own trash. And
I was at a ball game the other night and they asked me, Trey or Manuel said, who's not doing the job? I go, I think this is some rec. I don't think this is us.
It is something like that. They
He
do
said, well, I
all
just
that.
thought I'd ask you.
Yeah, in fact, they do a full inventory in the concession stand and say, okay, I've got this many Twix bars and this many this and this many cups and whatever, here you go. And then they do an inventory at the end and trade out and all that sort of thing. So
Should have
it's
told you
all-
former board members.
I know.
There you go.
I said, I don't know the answer, but I'll let you know.
He would have, absolutely would have.
It was his job. He
Yeah.
missed that.
That's
You
right.
missed that
I'm
memo.
going to check out. Any other questions? Anything else?
That's it.
Any questions? Heather? No.
Just wanted I will keep this very brief tonight. Of course, our financial statements are actually official and have been filed and are out on the auditor's website. We have been completing a lot of that grant work. Today was cut off for the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. So we have completed a number of grants. We're going to be working with the preschool grant. Again, this year it is changing. I'm very thankful to a present board member for all the work that she did when we were involved with it, because when we took that on, we now get that every year. And I think we're seeing some welcoming from Head Start to try to involve more of our curriculum. In fact, I wanted to ask the question to Kelly tonight, if she ever talked to any of them about some of the things that are going on. So I think that's been a very positive thing. One of the grants that we are needing to clean up, we're working on some graphics for the school, and I hope it'll make a nice presentation for next year as the school begins. The one thing on the board agenda tonight that we've been very fortunate to get some funding for is the interns that are working in the central office. So far, it's looking very good.
Very promising.
We have had a goal. I have had a goal. Joe has had a goal. We came to a district that was full of paper and lots of things that weren't done. I was looking, this will be starting my 10th year. It's not acceptable to see those things not done. And I knew we were never going to get them accomplished with what we had going on. So we were able to get this internship, and she's actually working with technology. Leah Clark's doing a very nice job with that and helping rid some of our problems that we have in the district. Same thing with Morgan Hunt. She is working with me on fixed assets, going to be doing some internships in the treasurer's office, trying to learn more about treasury, seeing if that's something she wants to do with her life. She is an accounting student in her last year, so that's something she is looking forward to. And I think it's a positive situation to get some things done that we wanted to get done for a number of years. And at the end of the time, I think we're going to look back on it and think it was just a positive for everyone involved, and it'll keep us on track with some of the other projects we have. So with that, I conclude my report.
Short and sweet and positive. That's a good summer report. Any questions? No. Next public participation. Joe, did you have any?
I do not have any.
Next then is the financial report from the treasurer.
The first three are very typical. The fourth is only a little larger because we are working with the year end and trying to pay back grants and trying to refund grants that are coming up at the first of next year. Permanent appropriation and temporary appropriations we'll be dealing with in the month at the end of June and the beginning of July. And we have an SURS payment to make, some donor advice funds that came into the school district, looking forward to applying for a COPS grant, a Dark County Foundation grant, and then another opportunity with the CCIP One Plan that we'll be doing this year, and another grant besides that. We have a financial statement to prepare in the month of July. And then the last thing is going to be working with the firm of Walker Blue For the solar panel report that we'll need to get the direct pay on the tax credits, I'm gonna be doing the tax work, but they are going to be doing the actual reports that explain the value so that we can receive those IRS credits.
Awesome. Do you have a motion to approve the items presented?
So moved.
Thanks. And a second?
I'll second.
Discussion or other questions for Carla?
I do have a question about the two from the CCIP for the early childhood special education grant and the IDA for special education. There's no monies there. Are we going to receive monies? We just don't know, or what does that look like?
We have been receiving emails over the last 2 days, so I asked Sandy, please include this in because it's not something that we can determine because they're grants we receive each year. And it was very strange this year. You see the $2 amounts. That's the way we're receiving it in. We did not by 4 o'clock today get anything on the IDEA grant. The early childhood grant, I sent that to her. That's around $1,135. There should be a dollar amount in there. And I did not catch that didn't get completed. But that's a fairly insignificant amount. But I'm curious about 6B because this last year it was $126,000. And I'm hopeful that we're receiving it, but we have no dollars there because we've not been advised for the dollars at this point.
Any other questions? None, roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
So we have no old business this evening. The new business items listed. Superintendent requests us to approve. Could you review what you'd like us to approve this evening?
Certainly, resignations and employment, particularly in those of you following along at home, this is on our website if you care to look at the agenda as well. I'm going to hit the high points here. 1D, we're excited to have 2 new teachers in the building, Caitlin Dubois and Mitchell Garrett coming in. Number F, we've got a voluntary transfer from Bob Daugherty going from the elementary principal to the assistant principal. We've got some recycling, number 4, of some old video equipment that Cody uncovered recently, actually cleaning out this very room. Found a box of old video cameras, like a large tote, completely full of these things. None of them work, but they're in this box. Number 6, we've got some funds from the class of 2026. They want to donate back to the other 2 classes below them. Number 7, we've got the resolution to do what we call blizzard bags or E-days. That gives us the freedom of up to 3 days to use after we use makeup days that are before our testing dates. I think I just said that wrong. We use the makeup days as long as they're available before testing dates, and then we use the E-days. I don't know if I explained that clearly. New creations are counselors in the building 3 days each week. That's the contract for that. We are supposed to get that. We were hoping to get it today, but we didn't see it. They said nothing more than inflation for the difference in cost from last year. But they told Carla the same amount, so instead of going up at all.
And that amount was $48,000.
There we go. Number 10, we've got a substitute contract rate going up to $100 next year. That's something we voted on a few years ago. Number 13 is the next big one here. We've got a grant to help out with some walk-off carpet squares that will go in the vestibule. So as people are coming in with snow on their feet or wet from the rain or whatever, some of that will disappear before they get into the inside part of the building. And that basically are the high points of all the consent agenda items.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the items presented? So moved. Thanks, Scott. Second.
Second.
Any discussions or questions for Joe regarding those items?
How are we coming along with the positions that need to be filled for like elementary?
They had interviews today. I've been asked to do a second interview tomorrow afternoon. That'll help out with one of the elementary positions. They've got a number 2 candidate that I think will Well, I don't know if I'll get a second interview right away or they're gonna continue an interview. If they had one they wanted me to interview right away. The special ed position, they're still working on. They didn't have a lot of applicants to go back and relook at that, but they're still plugging away.
Thank you.
Are we going to post the aide position from the retiree or not?
That is still kind of up in the air yet. So we've had a couple different ideas about that. And if we think back, we actually hired her to the one that we were replacing. She actually came in as a one-on-one aide. The student that she was overseeing is no longer with us. So technically, doesn't need to be replaced, but we know that that's a lot of help that does help down in the elementary. In the meantime, we had to hire a van aide that was, basically we tried to get somebody that was just for the van, and we couldn't find anybody that would split up a day like that. So we made it a full-time job where they'd be in the van and then in the classroom and back in the van. So we've added a half a position in the elementary school with an aide this year that's helped out a bunch. We're trying to see if that works out and not have to replace that other one.
Other questions? We'll call for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
And then the other one is, she was removed because of the perception of nepotism.
So, I have a motion to approve item 15 for Sally Brewer as a substitute educational aide.
So moved.
I'll second.
Yeah, thank you. Any other discussions? None? Roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Abstain.
Next is motion to enter executive session based on item G1 on our agenda. Motion? Approved?
No.
Okay.
I move to approve.
And a second.
I'm just waiting.
Second.
Who was the second on that?
I'll second.
Okay.
Roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Mrs. Levy,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
7:05.
And then hope you know our voting or motions after the executive session.
And I will close down the live stream here momentarily.
Without breaking it, right?
Without breaking it. It is weird though, because my screen shows that we're back on the main screen. The projector right now does not show that.
IT is complicated.
Sometimes. We're gonna go in the room next to where we typically go, because the other one's being used for flag practice.